Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about the new shed, which I featured in a previous video. Today we're going to be talking about electrical. So I was told by the previous owner to dig around there somewhere and I'd find electrical because it's going into the greenhouse. You can see where that little post is. Or inside, that's where it is. So I got lucky. Check this out. I don't know if I'm going to be able to see it. Yeah, I can't. There we go. There we go. I'll have it on front facing camera, but I actually found it. Yeah. And I got really lucky because that was the first hole that I started to dig. So what I need to do now is I need to find where it kind of veers off toward the greenhouse, dig that up real good, and then run it toward the shed. So that's the next step. All right, so this is the next day. Things do look significantly different. This is just about the hole that you guys saw last clip. I dug it further and never found a junction box or anything, which makes perfect sense because they just ran it straight all the way to the greenhouse. And so what I was gonna do was around here-ish, I was gonna dig down, I was gonna tie into the existing wire and then bury a junction box. But 6 feet forward, if you look inside of the greenhouse, that right there, I know it's hard to tell, but that is actually a junction box going up to a plug, because the wire that is being run is 8 gauge, which is capable of holding a 40 amp current. You don't run an 8 gauge wire straight into a plug. That'd be crazy. And so there's a junction box in there converting that 8 gauge into what is probably a 14 or 12 gauge. So what I've decided to do is tie the shed into the junction box in the greenhouse. And as you can see, I've already got the conduit, this conduit here. This is a 1.25 inch interior conduit. You can see it kind of terminates over there, and you can see how the other one goes in and connects to a flexible tube. So I'll probably do the exact same thing and run it up the exact same way, or I'll just tap into the conduit there and have all the cables running through. But so yeah, I had to do a bunch of extra digging because the original plan didn't include all that right there. Also, this stuff is very tough, so I had to, dig. I had a pretty sharp corner from here to there, and it was under a 90-degree angle, so I ended up having to dig out more of it, and that is why it is the next day, because digging is tough. So the next step is cover this back up and cut this at some point and drill it and run it up into the building, and then I guess feed the wires through. Which, by the way, this is about a 20-foot run, and 8 gauge wire, if you're running 3 wires, is about $3 a foot right now. So you're looking at probably $60 worth of copper just to go from right up there to right there. Pretty crazy. And there you have it. I tried to bring my face cam up, but the sun, you can probably see my shadow, is killing me from that direction. So I figured I'd just show you guys what's going on here. So you can see the loose dirt and it goes off. And then you can see, if I zoom in, you can see the conduit coming out of the ground there. I've got about a foot of dirt kind of piling up right there. And I'm likely gonna grab one of those pavers and use that, or a couple of them, maybe some cinder blocks, just to hold it down, because it's really, really tight stuff. It's like really hard, and it's hard to get it to bend at a 90-degree angle. I'd say I did a pretty decent job though, because it needs to be, behind that level there, so that whenever I put a wall or, brick or whatever right there, just nothing's in the way. So anyway, it is going up and it is going in. And if you look, you can see the extra conduit on that side. And you know what? Let me go into the shed first to show you guys what I've been up to. First of all, I brought all my tools in here because they were over by the RV. So here's where it's coming through. I may have trouble with that. I might have to fur out this wall or something to get the wall to lay flat. But it goes up pretty high. It's about 7 feet. But then you can see here, I have what is called fish tape. And I've pushed, it's a wire, but it's squared off and flat on one side. And it's real good at pushing through these conduits and coming out the other side, and then you tie your wire to it. This is only, I don't know, like 20 bucks, maybe less, but I got it for free for helping out a friend with a job. Every tool he bought for that job, he gave to me, which is super cool because I use them all the time. So if I go into the greenhouse, you can see here, I've got my 3 wires. Black 8-gauge wire. This is your positive node or your hot. I have the green, which is the ground. It doesn't have to be insulated, but that's what I had. And then white, obviously, is your neutral. And they're all 8-gauge. And I've got that running over to here, where I will tape them together, all together in one go. And then the conduit, which is coming out underneath all of this, and by the way, none of that's live. It's never been connected, so we're good. Conduit comes through, and then the fish tape comes all the way over, and it has this neat little hook, so I'll be able to take advantage of that. And by the way, this place looks like garbage. There's stuff everywhere because previous video I put together the puppy heat lamp, but all the puppies are gone now, so we're back to this being a greenhouse, which is exciting. My adult dogs are here. They've been ignoring me because I've just been working. Let me see. Lady, there you are. There's Lady and Riker. They're good puppies. You guys good puppies? Yeah. Anyway, so I'm gonna get some black electric tape up this wire, pull it through, and then, dudes, we'll be ready for the finishing touch. I've got to figure out how they did this. And there you have it, guys. 3 wires buried underground in a conduit. Whew. You know, it'd probably be easier if my tools were a little more sophisticated, huh? But, oh well, we got it done. I'm giving you the tour. There we go. Yes. So all 3 of these spools, I was going back and forth and finally got it going. So what I'm gonna do is probably give myself a few feet off the ends on both sides. I realize that this stuff is expensive, but I'm a novice, so I don't want to cut these things too short. So they're gonna be plenty long for everything that I'm gonna be doing. Next step, like I said last time, figure out how they converted that, and also, I guess for the shed, I'm gonna need a breaker box. Hey guys, what's up? Back for another clip of this video. This has been an ongoing project to get this place electrified. Last time you saw that thing, that was the only thing that you saw. I had a beard. This has been over a week now. I've actually changed, the weather's changed, it's cold again, and it's just nuts. But as you can see behind me, I have multiple plugs wired. I found some of this 12-gauge strand, or like a single wire that I had from a previous project, and of course the regular 12-gauge Romex. But the way this works is, not the way it works, but like the plan is back there near that window back there, that plug, that one is going to be where the AC is plugged into, and so that plug is the only plug on this particular circuit. It goes all the way around and comes up to this light switch where the lights are gonna get their power as well. So on that one circuit, you just have just the air conditioner and then the lights. And then the other circuit is going to be the other plug, which is back there in the corner. Can you see that? Yeah, you can. So there's several plugs. There's 2 on that side. There's gonna be 1 on the outside and here. And then it goes up and over and down. It's hard to do with a front-facing camera, and goes across, and we got a plug right here, and another one that's going to be outdoor, and then it goes up into the box. And then the last one, which I'm not done with, actually I am done. You see that plug on the end? That'll be where my computer plugs into. So I wanted the computer and the air conditioner to be plugged into different circuits, so that there wasn't one wire doing both. Because that's really all that's going to be happening in here is computer and air conditioner, so they're on separate things. And then the rest of the plugs and the outdoor plugs, or outlets, whatever, are on their own as well. So there's 3 total plugs, and of course 3 total circuits, and then there's these back here that are on the same circuit as the computer plug, which is right over my shoulder. Now, one thing to keep in mind, and something we'll have to, I just tripped over my drill. Something I'll have to keep in mind is to put in a breaker box, I actually need 4 wires. I've only got 3, that's how many was run up to this point. So I'm just gonna put in a junction box, and then whenever we rewire or run a new wire for the cabin, which is just upstream here, we'll run a 4th wire and then bring it over to here. And then I'll exchange the junction box for a breaker box and then drive my ground rod and all that stuff. That way it's up to code. But for now, it'll just be a junction box. It'll work just fine that way, temporarily. Nobody's living in here, so it's not that big of a deal, and nothing will be running whenever I'm not in here. So no big deal. So yeah, that is the update. I guess really the next thing I need to do is put together that junction box, which is gonna be interesting because cutting that stuff, this stuff's brutal, man. Have you seen me actually try to maneuver this? Look at this. I mean, this stuff is hardcore. So having to cut it, I'm having to use the reciprocating saw and just try not to cut the wire. It's a little scary. But yeah, so I gotta put all that together. And then once that's done, I've gotta go up to the source. All right, guys, so here we are nearly 2 weeks later. Yeah, this is difficult having so many things going on at once, but here is the junction box, and we here have wire number 1, wire number 2, wire number 3, and then of course the main, which I did cut and put this transition piece, flexible hose and stuff to be able to clamp this in here. I also have, if you notice this wire that's up here, it actually goes down and it loops so that I could keep a lot of the length, because whenever I redo this and put in a breaker box, I'm gonna want as much extra length as possible. That's why that's so tall. I mean, that's like 7'6" or so, 7'3" or 2, something like that. That's really high up there. But that's because I didn't want to have to cut more of the main line as possible. The breaker box itself will probably sit here right above this bit. So that is the only update, except here's a little tidbit of what's coming up tomorrow or next time I post a video, but insulated the ceiling. But there are my light junction boxes right there. They run down to this switch, and as you can see, I've got them all. So this is the main, this is the air conditioner, you have the big lights which are up top, and then you have, what does that even say? Oh, small lights. Yeah, the small light is actually outdoor. So if I look outside, you guys haven't seen this yet. There's me a new light fixture. I've caulked the outside for waterproofing, so I'm gonna need to paint that. And then I also added a couple of plugs. Now they're not wired, but everything's in there. So pretty awesome. And they're, you know, the waterproof and everything. Also, heads up, when you install these, it only comes with 2 of these brackets. And right now it's in a stud, and then there's open gap there. So what I did is I went and got a couple of, actually I got 4 machine screws, nuts and bolts, and I actually pinched the siding through this with a steel drill bit so that this thing won't move. And I mean, it's solid, it's good now, but I had to rig it a little bit. And here's the other one so that you guys can see we have 2 plugs. So next step is run up there, do all the wiring, and close up that box. And then I got to go outside to the source, which I'll show you guys in a clip or 2. And there you go. Took some time getting that done. All 3 blacks in with the, you can barely see it, the big black back there. And then all the whites, all the grounds. The wire nut and tape and all that's not necessary for the ground, but I definitely wanted to tape the heck out of the black and the white. I'm nervous doing lots of wires at once, so definitely took my time. I'm gonna cover this baby up and then take you out to the main area, because there's some work that needs to be done over there too, and I'm just not sure I'm up for it right now. One of my favorite things to do is to just walk across my property. There's nothing better than walking on land that you own, even though we're still paying the bank, so technically they own it. But it's ours. Nobody can tell us to get off the property, and it's amazing. But I'm here now. Let me show you where the other side of that wire is sitting right now. That's it right there. This is it. Well, what's up, buddy? You just just can't stand it. If I get on the ground, he's right here. You're such a good dog. Anyway, so yeah, the wires are here. Let me switch over to a front-facing camera real quick. Or is this technically back-facing? Anyway, so that's what I have here. I have a manifold of electrical. This is where the wire comes out of. He's not growling, he's talking. And it's designed to be inside of what will be eventually a well house. So if I back up, you can see it was already kind of dug. And underneath all that mulch is a water manifold. So I will eventually have this inside of a building. And then, so like, you can see this here, that is what's going to the shed. And then there's another one. This one doesn't have any wires in it. And this one doesn't have any wires in it, but you can see it goes down and over to the water well. There's a block of wire, you can probably see that running across there. The idea is that we're gonna be able to bury the wires that go out to the water well. And then there's gonna be a main that comes out right here, which is, I don't think there's anything in there right now. I mean, I don't even know what all this is. I think it might just be a way to grip onto it, but that's supposed to go outside and then over to this beast, which eventually I will lift and shape into place to plug into the box. And this is the main box that goes up and out to where the electric company has their power plant. So this whole thing it's gonna be a bit of work. As you can see, I actually found this junction box. I'll be using this to create a bit of a junction box, probably temporarily right there on that little setup right there. And then I don't know if I will plug that into the box or if I'll hire a professional, but that is where we are right now. So I think that this is an excellent stopping point for today's video. I know this has been a long one and it has been a long time coming. I think the first clip I filmed was a month ago. So definitely need to push this baby out. And you'll have to stay tuned to see if the electrical I ran actually works. I'll definitely be doing a reveal video on that. If it doesn't, we'll figure it out and make it work. But let's just see if my first attempt worked out. You know what I mean? So, yep, that's it for today's video. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. If you have any thoughts or questions, post them down below in the comments. And I'll be reading every comment, hearting all of them that aren't being mean. I usually just delete the mean ones. And yeah, we'll be getting up to completing the insulation and then the siding, which still, I'll probably say sheetrock a bunch more times, but I haven't actually decided whether I'm going to sheetrock it or not. So, yep. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.